What if the most profound love you ever experience feels less like a warm embrace and more like a quiet earthquake? You know the feeling, that dizzying, sublime recognition when your twin flame's soul seems to lock into yours with the precision of a key turning in a forgotten lock. It's euphoric, it's terrifying, and if we're being completely honest, it can feel a little like spiritual vertigo. We're taught that real love is supposed to be a safe harbor, a soft place to fall. But this is like finding a harbor that simultaneously calms the waves and commands you to build a sturdier ship, all while showing you the storm you didn't know was brewing on your own horizon. It's the most beautiful chaos, a divine disruption that scatters the neatly arranged furniture of your life and asks you gently but firmly to consider why you arranged it that way in the first place. We spend so much energy trying to decode the signs, manage the connection, and navigate the intense push and pull, all in the hope of securing that promised land of harmonious union. But what if we've been reading the map upside down? What if the destination isn't a place you arrive at together, but a person you become within yourself? The seismic shift isn't just about finding your other half. It's about the groundbreaking beneath your feet so that something entirely new, something more authentically you, can finally rise from the rubble. This love doesn't just want to hold your hand, it wants to hand you the blueprint to your own soul and a toolbox for the reconstruction. So let's set aside the fairy tale for a moment and talk about the real magic. The kind that isn't always comfortable, but is always transformative. Because the secret no one tells you is that feeling your twin flame's love is just the first spark. The real fire is what it ignites within you. You know, we spend our entire lives building a self. We curate it like a social media profile, highlighting the resilience, filtering out the neediness, airbrushing the old scars that still throb when it rains. We call this identity. We think it's solid. Then you meet your twin flame, and the feeling of their love isn't just a gentle affirmation. It's a seismic event that shakes the very foundations of that carefully constructed self. It's the ultimate look at me that becomes a terrifying, necessary look at you. Let's be real for a second. The initial phase feels like winning the cosmic lottery, doesn't it? It's the synchronicities that defy logic, the conversations that feel like you're finally speaking your native tongue after a lifetime of charades, the sheer, undiluted recognition that cracks you open. This is the mirror showing you your own divine blueprint. It's showing the you that exists beyond the baggage, the you that is pure, limitless potential. And it feels like home because, for the first time, you are truly seen in your magnificence. You bask in that reflection. It's easy to love a love that only shows you your best angles. But here's the plot twist, the part the poetic descriptions often leave out because it's not as marketable. That same mirror, flawless in its clarity, doesn't have a filter. It doesn't have a skip this part button. Once the initial glow settles, it begins to rotate, and it starts to illuminate the corners of your soul you've kept in shadow. We're talking about the dusty attic of your psyche, filled with forgotten childhood hurts, the cobweb-covered fears of unworthiness, the locked trunks of past betrayals you thought you'd thrown away. Their love, their very presence, becomes the light that spills into these spaces. And what happens? You start to feel triggered, profoundly, confusingly, sometimes embarrassingly triggered. A simple comment from them can feel like a personal indictment. A moment of their perceived distance can send you spiraling back to a 3-year-old's fear of abandonment. You might find yourself projecting jealousy, neediness, or a control you never knew you possessed. Your ego, that master architect of your old identity, goes into a full-blown panic. It starts throwing a tantrum, shouting, "This is their fault. They are making me feel this way. If only they would act differently, I would be at peace." But here is the sacred, brutal, and ultimately liberating truth. They are not causing your pain. They are revealing it. Their love is the catalyst, not the cause. The chaos you feel isn't the destruction of your connection. It's the dismantling of your illusions. It's the fire of transformation. And let me tell you, fire is indiscriminate. It doesn't just gently warm the room. It burns away what is no longer needed. That feeling of being raw, exposed, and uncomfortably seen. Oh, that's the feeling of your healing beginning at a cellular, soul-deep level. Think of it this way. You've been living in a house your whole life, and you thought the walls were a clean, white color. Then your twin flame walks in and flips on a pure halogen light bulb. Suddenly, you see every smudge, every hairline crack, the faint yellow tinge from years of neglect. You can't unsee it. You have a choice. You can get angry at the light for being so honest, or you can pick up a brush and start painting. This is the sacred responsibility. Their love gives you the most accurate blueprint of your own interior world you will ever possess. The feeling of their love becomes the very motivation to finally, after all these years, do the renovation. It's messy work. It's not glamorous. It means sitting with the parts of yourself you deemed unlovable and understanding their origin. It means taking 100% accountability for your emotional state. It means, in the midst of a trigger, pausing and asking, where in my history did I first feel this exact feeling? That, beautiful soul, is where your power lies. That is you moving from being a victim of your triggers to being the master of your healing. This is the journey from a love that you need to feel complete to a love that you choose from a place of wholeness. The mirror forces you to build that wholeness yourself, brick by brick. So the next time you feel that familiar surge of insecurity or fear in your connection, don't curse the mirror. Thank it. It is doing its divine job, showing you exactly what needs your love and attention. It is guiding you not to your other half, but back to your own entirety. And just when you think you understand the full purpose of this reflection, you begin to sense something else moving in the depths. A pattern, a pull, a sense that this entire intense personal transformation is part of a much larger cosmic choreography. But that, perhaps, is a conversation for another time. So, you've felt the mirror, you've done the work, scrubbing at the shadows in the halogen light of that profound reflection. It's exhausting, liberating, and deeply, deeply personal. But if you sit quietly in the aftermath of that storm, in that strange new peace, you might begin to sense something else, a subtle vibration underneath it all. It feels less like your heartbeat and more like the heartbeat of the universe itself. And this is where the journey transcends the self entirely. This is where you realize the love you feel isn't a personal possession to be clutched, but a cosmic current you've been invited to steward. Let's be honest, our human conditioning, our fairy tales, our very biology screams for possession. My twin flame, my divine counterpart. We wrap the connection in the language of ownership, trying to nail a sunset to the wall. We fret over the 3D details. When will we be in union? Why did they say that? What does this text mean? We become archaeologists of our own relationship, dusting off every interaction for clues, trying to control the narrative. It's like being given a seed from a tree of life and spending all your energy polishing the seed, demanding to know why it isn't already a tree, instead of simply planting it and trusting the soil and the sun. But then there's a shift. It often comes in a moment of utter surrender when you're just too tired to hold on anymore. And in that release, a new feeling floods in, a quiet, awe-struck humility. You look at your twin flame, and the thought, "You are mine," quietly dissolves and reforms as I recognize you. I remember you. We are both here to serve. The love stops feeling like a personal emotion generated between two people and starts to feel like a sacred frequency you are both tuning into, a broadcast from the divine, and you are the receivers. The feeling of their love becomes the feeling of being perfectly, divinely on purpose. Think of it as a symphony. Up close, in the thick of it, you're just one musician, focused on your own part. Your notes, your healing, your triggers. It's all you can hear. It's chaotic and loud and personal. But then, for a moment, you pull back. You hear the cellos, the flutes, the percussion, sections you didn't even know were there. You realize your twin flame is another musician in this vast orchestra, and your conductor, the divine source, is orchestrating a piece so magnificent, so complex, that your individual part only makes sense in the context of the whole. The separation? It might just be the composer asking you to practice your solo in another room, so you can both eventually return and play in perfect harmony, enriching the entire composition. This is the divine assignment. It's the humbling realization that this intense, all-consuming connection was never just about your happiness. It's about your usefulness. The love you share is the fuel for a mission that extends beyond your coupledom. It's meant to be alchemized into something that serves the world. A creative project, a healing modality, a simple, radiant energy of compassion that you both emit independently, making the collective a little lighter. Their love for you is the constant reminder of that contract. It's the nudge that says, keep going, heal that, create this. The world needs the unique frequency that only this journey is forcing you to embody. This is why the obsession with physical union can be such a painful distraction. You're focusing on the two actors standing on stage, demanding they embrace, while completely missing the play itself. The story of transformation and service that's being performed for an audience far greater than yourselves. When you feel their love as part of this assignment, the anxiety around timing and proximity begins to soften. You start to trust the choreography. You understand that periods of separation aren't punishments. They are necessary acts in the play, where you each go off stage to collect the props and wisdom needed for the next scene. So, the next time you feel that surge of love for them or sense it from them, I want you to try something radical. Don't just pull it into your heart and hoard it. Feel it and then ask, what is this energy asking me to do? How can I channel this incredible force into my purpose today? You will find the love multiplies. It becomes a river flowing through you, not a pond stagnating within you. And the most fascinating part? The moment you fully embrace your role as a steward of this love rather than its owner, you step into a power so serene, so magnetic, that it often becomes the very key that unlocks the next phase of the journey. But the nature of that key and the door it opens is a mystery that deserves its own quiet contemplation. So here you stand in the quiet aftermath of understanding. The seismic shocks have settled into a new topography of your soul. You've stopped trying to possess the hurricane and have instead learned to chart the stars by its winds. This right here is the alchemy. This is where the lead of your old longing is transmuted into the gold of a new consciousness. It was never about finding a missing piece to fill a void within you. It was about discovering a catalytic force that compelled you to forge yourself into something whole, something so complete that the very concept of missing loses all meaning. Think of it like this. For years, you were a single note, beautiful but longing for a chord. Then you heard their note, and the harmony was so devastatingly perfect, it shook your world. But the journey wasn't about clinging to that other note. It was about you learning to vibrate at a frequency so clear, so true, that you became the entire chord yourself. You became resonance. And in that state, you understand that the other note was never yours to hold, but yours to answer. A call and response across the universe that creates a music far grander than either of you could produce alone. The feeling of your twin flames' love, then, is the feeling of this eternal echo. It is not a reassurance that you will be coddled and spared from life's trials. Quite the opposite. It is the unwavering certainty that you are strong enough to face them. It is the cosmic nod that says, yes, it is difficult, and yes, you are exactly the one for the job. This love is the quiet hum of the forge where you are being tempered. It is the anvil upon which your resilience is hammered out. It doesn't prevent the heat. It assures you that you will not break within it, but instead be shaped into a blade of impeccable truth. This path asks you to exchange a fantasy for a miracle. The fantasy is the perfect, easy union, a fairy tale ending where no one ever gets triggered and the sun perpetually sets in the background. The miracle is what you're living right now. The messy, painful, glorious, and utterly real awakening to who you truly are. The miracle is the courage to look into the mirror, to serve the assignment, and to finally deeply fall in love with the one who has been there all along, the you that was always worthy of a love this profound. You are no longer just a seeker. You are a pioneer of the soul, mapping the wild, uncharted territories of your own heart. You are not lost on this path. You are discovering it with every step you take. And with each breath of acceptance, with each moment of surrendered trust, you're not moving closer to them. You're moving closer to the sublime reality where you and your purpose and your love are revealed as one and the same thing. The journey home was always a journey into the magnificent, unlit landscape of your own being. And the love you feel, it is the dawn breaking finally over your own horizon.